had, really reporting on the latter part of our winter special event schedule. Still to come, we've had a great winter event schedule that has already passed. Over 90,000 people attended this year's celebration of lights. We're estimating about 25,000 viewed the lights around the fountain at City Center. Over 700 kids have attended the Holiday Frost event at the Downey Grove Sculptural Arts Center. Very busy season, very successful. One of the events upcoming, the paper has had it well publicized, is the transformation event at the Kmart in Denby. Not a lot to say that hasn't already been said around it. That bottom photo is the early head start on the folks that are taking it. That was taken this morning. So hopefully there will be some empty space for people to spray paint by Saturday. And if not, they are enjoying it as they go.
And I'm happy that we have really captured the event from the community. We're really excited.
Be a relatively short event from 10 to 1 this coming Saturday, weather permitting. And we'll involve food trucks, some music, some demonstrations. We'll have some professional spray painters there. We'll have a ceremony. The mayor will essentially, I guess, set off the demolition of
Light out of the building.
We also have an event that...
I still would like to have some adult seesaws.
Not at the Kmart, what we're demolishing.
And if I may just mention, I believe 12 o'clock is the time for the ceremony.
Oh, okay.
It goes to 10 to 1, but 12 will be when there'll be any speeches or taking a bite out of the building.
We have a Love Newport News promotion. You can think of it as one of those Peter K things. From February the 1st to the 7th, tourism is kind of hitting us up. It'll be a social media contest. There are some prizes. The idea behind it is to come out to City Center. There will be 12 roughly 4-foot in diameter hearts placed around the fountain. The hearts will have, and these are kind of your traditional candy heart looks. They'll have messages on them. What we're doing is encouraging people to come out and, among other things, say what they love about Newport News. Take a picture at the love letters, which will be decorated with hearts. And hopefully, a lot of good, positive social media will result from the event. Brooks Crossing, the Art Tech, and all of you remember that was originally scheduled for December the 13th. Very rainy evening, so we had to postpone that particular event. It's coming up on the 7th of February, Saturday or Friday night. Starts at 3:30, about the same time Shipyard lets out. We'll run till late in the evening next to the Innovation Center at Brooks Crossing. There'll be food trucks and beverages. There'll be a nice skating rink, which will be even larger than what was originally planned. A silent disco, a lot of exhibits, interactive STEM type exhibits, some make and take. I don't want to say crafts, it sounds real childish, but there are groups that will be demonstrating some neat pieces of equipment they have. The Shipyard's MX or multiple experience trailer will be there for people to take tours of. Have a bonfire, strolling entertainment, and a lot more. Kind of coattailing on what Owen had already talked about, the One City Marathon. We have the One City Celebration, which is essentially the post-race activities, entertainment. That runs from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. It'll be on the super block like it was last year. It turned out to be a lot drier and less soggy than the Big Creek landing site did. It's also warmer, getting away from the water if we happen to have that cold wind coming across the James River. Of course, food and beverages. I'll have the runner awards presented in the tent. We have the relaxation recovery area that'll be pretty standard for the runners. Pretty much what we've had in the past. The end of the race event, not only for the runners, but for spectators and others that come downtown. We have not a date, and Owen touched on this too, is kind of a co-creator event, possibly the city doing some things in downtown Newport News next to the distillery off 23rd Street. We're looking forward, and Everett gave you a good overview of all the improvements scheduled for downtown along that area, along Christopher Newport Park. Hopefully in the not distant future, I think it will be a really, really appealing location for people to come down, not only for events, but just to see something pretty and new. Just the scenery along the waterfront is going to be spectacular compared to what's there now. Outdoor games, music, look forward to whether it's another group working with the city or the city taking this over. Be an event probably right now scheduled for sometime in April, weather permitting. We'll continue with the Ella Fitzgerald Festival. It'll run from April the 24th to 25th. It's really focused in and around the Downey Grace Cultural Arts Center. On the 24th in the evening, both events will be in the evening, 8 o'clock. The first event on the 24th will be a showcase of local female singers. 25th will be an evening with Avery Sunshine. If you've not heard of Avery Sunshine, she's an upcoming female vocalist. She was the iTunes Best Vocalist of 2010. Soundtracks, Reader's Choice Best New Artist, and Jet Top 5 Rising Indie Artist, which my staff made me put down here because I asked them who Avery Sunshine. We have a lot of other events. Really finishes up our winter schedule. We have a lot of other events. In fact, we have 24 major, when I say major, we're expecting crowds of in excess of 600-700 people. Most of them are in excess of thousands of people. There are 24 of them planned throughout the city. And I threw this in there to let you know that they're from one end of the city to the other. We'll be doing from all the way up at Lee Hall, all the way down to King Lincoln Park. There are also 9 large community events the city co-sponsors to a pretty significant degree. Everything running from the Go Green Expo, the Juneteenth and Dimby Day, and the Children's Fishing Clinic at the James River Fishing Pier. We do the Southeast Community Day and Parade and Play Ball event that is held annually. A couple of things to consider for upcoming year is, and was mentioned earlier, at the Kmart site, not only this demolition, but if you look at, and here's the Kmart building, parking lot in front, huge green space left over from where Hills used to be. It's a wonderful opportunity for outdoor city events. That city center, which is still a great event venue, has gotten tighter and tighter. This has got parking, it's got open space. There aren't a lot of locations in the city. So we're planning to use that site as long as it's available to do some events. And I imagine development's also looking at other groups that may want to use it for those co-creator events. One other thing well, it's not shown. It's shown in your handout is the sunflowers. If you remember, those of you that attended the Leadership Development Academy graduation this past fall, their project was a sunflower festival, planting sunflowers in a location. That's kind of on our target to attempt that this year to find a place that the deer are not going to annihilate the sunflowers. But it would be a neat idea. In fact, I think they call it floral tourism, where you have big fields of lavender or sunflowers or daisies that are big draws, not only as photo opportunities, but to bring tourists from out of town for restaurants and hotels and other things. So we're going to dip our toe in that, I hope, this year. Questions? Thank you.
It is my intent. This was a really neat presentation that we saw at the Leadership Academy. And it resulted in a lot of hard work that's coming out, human resources working for our employees, trying to develop our employees, do some things like that. And they all have to do projects. And this was one of the projects, and they did a really great presentation. So it would be my intent to have them come back and just do the presentation that they did for us, so that that's part of their graduation. They don't graduate until they do the presentation for us. That council sees some of the things that we're working on and how hard human resources is working to do some of the training and development of staff. So it's a neat presentation, so we get them. And I believe they have t-shirts for them. So.
Is this only for the first half of the year?
You mean all the activities?
Because I didn't see the World Arts Festival here. We're not doing that.
No, this was pretty much your winter schedule.
This schedule only goes through April. We have a lot of different, there are 24 events, and you're only seeing a few right now.
We're calling it the end of our winter schedule.